Tonight, the internet is on fire once again as Tana Mongeau calls out Todd Smith, reigniting drama many fans thought was long buried. This isn't just another influencer squabble, this is personal. Tana says Todd straight up lied about their past run-in, and now she's ready to set the record straight. But as always with Tana, when one door of drama opens, it doesn't just crack, it bursts wide open. And this time, it may drag Jeff Wittek, David Dobrik, and even her podcast partner Brooke into the storm. Let's rewind. This all goes back to the Babylon movie premiere a few years ago. According to Tana, she had already told a vague story on Jeff FM about running into someone who said they missed Jeff but wouldn't say it to his face. She never named names, but apparently Todd Smith took it very personally. That night at the premiere, Tana says Todd came at her aggressively, throwing the line, "There are two sides to every story." He seemed to be defending his ties to David Dobrik after the infamous fallout with Jeff. Tana says she was stunned because she hadn't even mentioned Todd on the podcast. In her words, Todd was coming at her neck, demanding that she see another side to the feud. Tana, furious, recalls wanting to go back to her old self in that moment. The one that never held back and was always ready to clap back publicly, but she didn't. She chose peace, and yet, years later, Todd is still telling the story wrong. Fast forward to today. On a recent Jeff FM episode, Todd finally addressed the drama. But his version, completely different. Instead of admitting he confronted Tana about her comments, Todd painted a totally unrelated picture. He claimed that the only thing that happened was Tana trying to hop into a photo with him and Zayn Hijazi, and that he playfully covered her face with his hand. He insisted he didn't touch her aggressively and had no bad blood. But to Tana, this was an outright fabrication. And here's where it gets even messier. Jeff himself seemed confused. When Todd brought up two sides to every story, Jeff thought he was talking about his and Tana's disagreement, not realizing Todd was originally referencing Jeff and David Dobrik's falling out. The entire conversation became a crisscrossed game of telephone, where no one seemed to be talking about the same thing, but everyone thought they were. The result? Pure chaos. When Tana sat down with Trisha Paytas recently, she couldn't hold back. She said it's one of her biggest triggers when someone lies about something she knows is completely true. She vented that if she were ever going to lie for clout, she'd lie about someone like Jeff Bezos, not Todd Smith. Why would she invent a story about him of all people? She stressed that she has nothing to gain by making Todd look bad, and that night at the Babylon premiere is etched in her memory. For her, Todd's story isn't just wrong, it's insulting. But here's the part that makes this so wild. Todd's version of events sounds even worse than what Tana originally said. She claimed he yelled at her while he's out here clarifying, "I didn't hit her, I just covered her face." No one accused him of hitting her in the first place, so why even bring that up? Fans online immediately noticed how strange this was. Was Todd misremembering? Was he deflecting? Or has he convinced himself of a new version of the past so deeply that he believes it's true? Trisha chimed in too, suggesting Todd may have rewritten the memory in his own head. Fans, meanwhile, dragged Todd for coming at a girl over a situation that wasn't even about him. Some called him out for being irrelevant and trying to stir up buzz where there wasn't any. Others said Tana had every right to be upset, especially because Jeff has always had her back and never once suggested she lied. And while Tana says she's in her peaceful era, she admitted it's frustrating watching false narratives spread. She said she's choosing not to clap back in full force because peace feels better than pettiness. But that doesn't mean she's not furious behind the scenes. To her, Todd rewriting history is more personal than public. It's not about likes, comments, or clicks. It's about someone undermining her truth. So what does this all mean? For Todd Smith, it paints him as out of touch and desperate to stay relevant, especially now that he's no longer in the vlog squad. For Tana, it ironically strengthens her brand. She's being seen as more mature, handling drama with restraint instead of reckless chaos like she once did. Fans are praising her growth even as they beg her to go off just one last time. And speaking of one last time, Tana might just deliver. In a TikTok, she teased that the upcoming final episode of her canceled podcast with Brooke Schofield could include exposing every bleep ever. The two joked they're lawyered up and ready to answer fans' deepest, messiest questions. They've invited people to comment rumors they want addressed, and fans are begging them to reveal long-denied drama, from friendship fallouts to personal scandals. It could be the perfect way for Tana to close this chapter of her life, with one final storm before her era of peace. So where does this leave us? Tana versus Todd has become a messy, confusing saga of miscommunication, ego, and old wounds. But it's also a reminder of how influencer drama never really dies. It just resurfaces when you least expect it. And if Tana does unleash some final tea on her podcast, Todd might not be the only one caught in the crossfire. What do you think? Did Todd really misremember, or is he covering his tracks? And will Tana's final podcast episode deliver? The Chaos fans are begging for one thing's for sure. Peace might be Tana's new brand, but drama still seems to follow her everywhere.
For full video, click related link below or like and subscribe this channel.